I really think somehow the Cleveland Browns put Nick Chubb's broken MCL inside of Deshaun Watson just to save their season.
Why? What up, everybody, and welcome to the FB and Goob Show's weekly football extravaganza.
Woo!
I'm FB,
I'm the Goob.
sponsored by the Good Time Tavern of Livermore, California. How's the Goob?
The Goob is fantastic. We got a good response to our NFL only show last week. So thank you if you watched last week. If you're new, like and subscribe. I love that. I'm excited to talk about football again, exclusively.
I'm exclusively excited to talk about football too. If I don't have to talk about any other sport, I can just talk about the Green Bay Packers and Deshaun Watson. Yes?
The power of the NFC North is there. I agree. Do you
I'm
want to go ahead and talk about your Packers being in
no,
third
no,
place? I love
no.
that.
No, I want to talk about how everybody got hurt, man. It's kind of crazy.
Dude, wide receivers are going down in pairs. New Orleans, Tampa Bay. It's madness. It's
Yeah.
MCL madness is what it is.
Brandon Ayuk gone for the year.
Right. Debo Samuel's in pneumonia, might die because he can't breathe. Who knows? It's
Who
crazy.
knows? It's crazy. Mike Evans going, that was bad. That wasn't a knee? Wasn't that a hamstring? What happened to Mike Evans? Was that a
Well,
knee or
the thing with that was is he was trying to play through it, and which is not good for us fantasy owners that are looking for people to play tough. Because Evans had a hammy, he scored his touchdown. They said, you should chill. And then he went one more deep bomb, and the guy hit him while he was extended.
man, you
And
can't play I don't think you can play through a hamstring a
he,
hamstring injury.
yeah, that's
That's
like
not,
a
that
Super
could
Bowl,
lead to
maybe.
like long-term like injury.
Yeah, no, that's problems. And you know, I give him props for trying to tough it out, but at the same time, now they left him. Godwin got hurt in the last play of the game, basically, and now Evans is out for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's in bad shape now. Baker Mayfield, his MVP, he's no longer in that chase. That's for sure.
Well, now listen, who's left for Tampa Bay on the receiving core if Mike Evans and Godwin are gone? Ott,
Right.
the big tight end, is still there.
Sure. They have Mr. Otten. They've got the rookie from Washington, Mr. McMillan. You remember Sterling Shepard from the
I
Giants?
remember Mr. ACL Sterling Shepard. Yeah, I remember Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, so he's the only healthy one apparently these days. So that's a weird, that's a shock to the system.
He's an aging
Yeah,
receiver, so yeah, no, they've
the good thing is they have too many running backs. So now maybe they start running the power T or
I don't
maybe
know if Baker
Bucky or
Mayfield can run the power T. Can Baker Mayfield run the power T?
Baker make it. He can do anything he wants, Mr. Baker.
Yeah, he does make the
No,
best nachos. That guy
Bucky
does make the
Irving
best
was a
nachos.
receiver at one point. Maybe you split Bucky out wide more often, double tight
Well,
end.
Bucky's been catching a lot of passes actually out of the backfield, actually, Mr. Bucky
Him and
Irvings.
Rashad White. I mean, they've also, I don't think they've dropped a pass in the last 3 weeks. They've been very, very good.
Well, that's good. That's huge, man. Linebackers, as good as they are, man, if you got good pass catching running backs and they can come out of the backfield, like if McCaffrey comes out of the backfield, and I'm not trying to bring up a sour note, but if McCaffrey comes out of the backfield and lines up in the slot or lines up past the slot, or if a linebacker has to follow over, Brock Purdy inside of himself has to go, oh, overjoy. I can't wait until Christian makes his decisive move, and then I will throw the ball to him, touchdown. You know what I mean? So, if you have that that's like Marshall Falk, like going, nope, not staying in the backfield, going over here, and the linebacker going, shit. All right. I guess I'll go over there. And now there's a bunch of space for me to have to make a determination of how I'm going to stop this man from getting to the point he wants to get to. And it's usually a losing matter if it is, as we say, Christian McCaffrey or Marshall Falk or so. Yeah, if you have that, that's an advantage. You know what I mean? Like for the Packers, I think last year, if with the same receivers we have now, when Aaron Jones kind of dipped out and went over to the side, the linebacker went, oh shit. And if Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson and all those guys are there, when Aaron Jones dips off to the right or the left, and the linebacker has to follow said Aaron Jones to the left or the right. Yeah, I know. I spilled the beer. But, things are different.
That's fair. I mean, I don't know how you got on this Packers tangent all of a sudden.
I don't know. I would just, we just started
You're like the
talking
only team
about.
without injured receivers right now.
Yeah. Well, you talked about Bucky Irvin being able to go out. I was like, well, that's kind of huge if you can, So, no, injuries are huge. Jaden Daniels, I think, is the biggest injury. I'm not worried about any of these receivers.
Jaden's it's just some rib cartilage. He's still 22 years old. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I know. I just really wanted him to beat Caleb Williams this week. So, and
No, I mean, you never know. He might come back. Caleb Williams is going to be ready. I'm excited for that matchup either way. I mean, Marcus Mariota, number 2 pick in the draft, he showed some promise last week.
no, it's supposed to be Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams. That's what we wanted to see. That was the marquee matchup. Possible offensive rookie of the year versus possible offensive rookie of the year. That's what I wanted to see. Both
So
healthy.
true.
Yeah. I think that is this week's most biggest disappointment for me. We always talk about what is our biggest, what are you so excited about? And if Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, that's going to be the biggest disappointment for me because that was the matchup that Packers play the Jaguars this week, so I was kind of excited for that Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and I had all my money on Jaden Daniels, so I was kind of hoping 4-3 Bears, 6-2 Packers. You know what I mean? So
I do, and that's fair.
yeah. So all right. So but listen, the biggest injury of the week was Brandon Ayuk, right?
Yeah. Now we're paying him $35 million to drop a bunch of passes in the first 6 weeks and not play in the last 8. So yeah, no, I wish he was a Steeler right now, to be honest with you.
After the performance he's put on in the first 7 weeks, yeah, you probably wish that guy was a Steeler right now because his performance or his play on the field has not been what he has been paid.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunate. I mean, I don't the Niners are getting killed with injuries like left and right. Pneumonia. How the fuck does pneumonia get an elite athlete living in a place where it doesn't get below 52 degrees? Just like shocks how that happened. I mean,
I was tripped on that too. I saw he was released today from his stint in the hospital from pneumonia.
Hey, Debo's out. Thank God.
Yeah. And I thought, wow, Debo Samuel was in the hospital for pneumonia, yet Goob is allowed to walk around
In shorts daily. Yeah. What was he like?
right?
Turned the air conditioner to 12 and just fell asleep right in front of it.
Yeah.
How the fuck? All right. Maybe I don't know how pneumonia works. Someone comment down below if you know how that shit works. But
It's got to be a virus that you get from somebody else. You know what I mean? Or you were somewhere bad. I don't know. Maybe, he probably eats out a lot and maybe he got it from a cook from a restaurant.
it's a new kind of salmonella, pneumonia salmonella.
Pneumonia salmonella. I don't know. Maybe somebody sneezed on something. All I know is without all of your superstars or your Lamborghinis, your Camaro of a quarterback turns into a Honda Civic. Is that
I believe that's a
is
kind
that
of a
a
question.
fair?
Yeah, if you want me to talk about that, he's not at his best couple of weeks, Mr. Purdy. A lot of them are tips. And if someone throws one more pass to goddamn Ronnie Bell, I am going to strangle the next closest person to me because Ronnie Bell should have been cut 4 weeks ago. And I think definitely one, at least 2, maybe 3. All right, I'm using adverbs in a willy-nilly fashion now, but it doesn't matter. Ronnie Bell should never be on a football team ever again. And we move on. And I'm happy we're going to play Dallas next week.
Coming off a bye, who needs a win? Man, you might go 2 losses in a row.
I mean, it could be.
Dallas can't afford a loss. Dallas can't lose. You can't lose. two teams that can't lose, one coming off a bye, getting ready to play you, you coming off a miserable loss to Kansas City, who beat you in the Super Bowl, who
Oh
knocked you
yeah,
to the ground again
that's thank
with
you.
with maybe
Hi, Megan.
only Debo Samuels and George Kittle as your offensive options. Well, Mason, but and then Brock loses. He's lost two Lamborghinis now. I don't know what Brock does. How is Jennings? Jennings is questionable. Is Jennings capable of coming back and performing at the level that Jennings likes to perform at?
I mean, he could definitely be a number two. I don't know if you want to put Jennings on the 6'3" number one corner that the other team has, which
Well,
I
who
don't believe
becomes
Dallas has that. So yeah, he'll be fine this week fantasy wise or and Niners wise. But I don't foresee this week being a great week in general for the Niners.
no?
I still think we're luckily our division sucks this year, so we still have a chance.
I'm sure
Um,
Dallas brings back. They were injured quite a bit in the last game. I'm sure they bring back some
Still no
players.
Parsons. Still no Parsons.
No Parsons still. I was
Thank
gonna.
God.
Yeah, you got lucky there.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
listen, it should be a one of this Niner Dallas game is going to be a season changing game for one team. If the Niners lose again and the Seahawks win, and you're like now two games and struggling and no Ayuk and looking
It
for a new
it doesn't end our
identity.
season, but it'll end Dallas's. This is not going to end ours. Our division's not running away with anything. We beat the Seahawks in week 16, the Rams in week 17, Cardinals in week 18. That's fine.
Okay.
But Dallas, yes, they're in real trouble because the
Dallas is in
Commanders
trouble. Yeah, that's what I
Commanders are
mean.
legit, and
This is
Saquon
a
Barkley. Yeah,
This is definitely a possible second loss in a row for the Niners because for the Cowboys, this season is the Eagles are playing well, the Redskins or Commanders, sorry, are playing well, and the Giants are still possibly could end up better than you at the end of the season, which would be sad for you. No, I'm just
that's not
saying,
happening. But either way, yeah, Dallas could end up in a bad, bad place.
yeah, Dallas could. So, well, good luck to both of you. That's all I got to say because I could care less about either one of you. Who
I mean,
I
it gets me up. It gets me up on Sunday playing the Cowboys. You kidding me? I could be like half in a coma. I'd wake up for that game.
I will still be up this week for the Packers. We play the Jacksonville Jaguars of Duval County. Not playing their best football as of late. Packers
Hey,
playing
what?
pretty
Jaguars
well
won one in a row. I thought Jaguars on a winning streak.
on a winning streak for sure. Um, you listen any given Sunday, so I'm not going to say too much stupid shit. But Packers held C.J. Stroud to 100 under 100 yards passing, with 4 sacks and no
Tank Dell,
turnovers.
0 yards.
Yeah, that this new defensive coordinator for the Packers, good old Jeffy boy here. He definitely brings a different scheme every week. I think he's prepared every week. He's making the defense better than it ever has. All the rookies are starting to get involved in there with this Williams and this Bullard kid and Cooper. And I don't know, man. We seem to get better and better every week. Beating the Texans after the first few weeks, man, I mean, it was just like, all right, where are we going here? This is weird. Jordan Love is 0-2. Malik Willis is 2-0. I'm confused. But yeah, this defense is playing really well, man. And
I'll be honest. Like I watched the game, like 95% of it, and I was impressed. Normally, I have something like I come at you for the Van Ness because he's a 30 PFF, or I come at you for your left tackle because he sucks. But honestly, it was a nice team effort. You guys did very well. Yeah,
yeah,
good win. Good win in Green Bay. I hate to say it, good win Green Bay.
even with the interceptions, man, I grew up with Favre being my hero. The ball was signed by Favre. The pitcher is signed by Favre. The
I didn't sign that
jerseys, you signed, shut up. The jerseys
one.
hanging up in the bar. Um, the other jerseys burned in my dad's ashes. So Favre is like, no matter how many
Gunslinger, man. The
no matter how many
mentality is fun.
interceptions, Brett Favre still could, still threw 10 touchdowns that same week, So I'm okay with Jordan Love and his interceptions as long as he continues to throw touchdowns and win games. I could care less. It's his Green Bay, shit happens. But the defense being at the level it's playing at, the talent around Jordan Love. I mean, I did mention Aaron Jones earlier before about, spreading out and going deep and blah blah blah. But Josh Jacobs is fine. But the receivers and all the other talent with Kraft and Dobbs and Jaden Reed and Musgrave is injured. I mean, if that kid comes back and plays halfway as good as he's supposed to, oh my God, Wicks. These guys are all. We still have 3 more years of these guys with no payments. Just like so, yeah.
Right.
I'm kind of excited that we have all this talent and good offensive line and Jordan Love who can throw it 70 yards down the field and doesn't care. He will do it. He'll do it. That's what I like about him. He's a
Right.
gunslinger. What's that? I'm throwing it. Oh, interception. All right, I'll get a touchdown in the next drive. He really brings me back to my Favre, and I'm really happy about that. I really am. I like loved Favre more than Rodgers. I got adjusted to Rodgers and dealt with his, I don't know, godlikeness with no interceptions, but he failed me in the end. Jordan Love, bringing me back.
Bring it back. That's
Bring me
fair.
back to that Favre day, man.
But right now, you're still only the third best team in the NFC North. I mean, the NFC North is just
yeah, right
powerhouse.
now, we'll be the best team in the end because our defense is the best defense out of those 3 teams.
Brian Flores begs the difference.
Brian Flores is just going to lose again in the playoffs, or you know what I mean? I'm not worried about Brian Flores.
You're just making stuff up about Flores now. But anyway,
Yeah, I am.
so NFC North still on top. That game was great. Detroit, Minnesota. It
Great
was hard
game.
to declare a loser. I felt bad for Minnesota losing it that way. But
Good game.
They are undefeated no longer.
No longer. Only Kansas City left.
And man, I looked at their schedule, dude, and they only have 3 tough games left. They play the Raiders a bunch of times, the Broncos a couple times, who are playing better. But
They are.
You know what I mean? All right, so I'll give you the schedule. At Pittsburgh, at Buffalo, Houston, in Kansas City. Do any of those teams have a chance?
Buffalo's playing very well now. The addition of Amari Cooper, I think, is going to be key for Josh Allen because I think somebody will find an open spot, Amari Cooper, and will move the chains just like Stephon Diggs did. But I think Amari Cooper brings a different attitude, which will bring a different outcome. So, yeah, I believe the Bills do. I believe the addition of Amari Cooper is going to be huge. I think it's going to help Josh Allen out in tough situations. I think somebody is going to finally be open, and it's going to be Amari Cooper. I think it helps a lot. I think they can beat the Chiefs. Pittsburgh, I mean, Chiefs defense is really good. Pittsburgh wins on falsity or something. I don't know how Pittsburgh wins.
Man,
But,
Russell Wilson won the game last week just by throwing high school passes, go deep.
3 flags. I mean, it was just it was silly.
It was silly. It was silly how it worked. I blame the other team, the Jets, for not being able to knock down a moon ball.
For the commentators to just keep saying, just throw 3 flags up. I mean, just throw it up in the air. Somebody, George Pickens will catch every one of them. I was like, well, I mean,
that's what was happening. It was crazy.
Getting kind of ridiculous that it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Bills, yes. Texans, any given Sunday.
Right. By then, the Chiefs will probably have clinched. So you're saying the Bills beat them at home just to go to Kansas City to lose again in 3 months?
I don't know, man. The Amari Cooper thing, it's just the Bills defense that, I mean, I really like the addition of Amari Cooper. I think that's a great addition. I think it replaces Stephon Diggs with a much higher caliber human being.
Well, I'm going to say better by the sticks and not as good near the end zone. But yeah, whatever. They're going to say
touchdown in his first game.
Listen, he scores 2 more touchdowns, he'll be a diva too. So don't let receivers fool you.
I've watched him score lots of touchdowns when I went to live games at the Raiders Coliseum or playing for the Cowboys. I never saw a diva. I never saw an AJ Brown or a Stephon Digg or I didn't see that kind of diva. Never once. So
Fair
I
enough.
think the Bills got a good player in Amari Cooper. I think they did better than Devontae Adams going to the Jets. I think that's two aging players, one really aging quarterback, and one 31-year-old receiver going back to a cold place. I don't get it. Why do you want to go to New York? It's cold.
That's why I moved out of there. It's freezing.
It's freezing there, so when the cold weather games come, you're just going to be cold again. I say the same thing about Green Bay. We won the last Super Bowl. We didn't have a home game. That's probably brilliant. Just come in as the wild card team and win, and don't be home because it's 4 degrees. Everybody's frozen. Nobody can win. Lucky people win. So, all right, listen. Monday night, Lamar Jackson, is he the best player ever to play in football? 5 touchdowns.
The way offensive coordinator Tom Monken is lighting it up, no, he's definitely odds-on favorite to win the MVP. I don't even think it's close. There's no
What do you mean it's
place
not close?
Micah Parsons. Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing there.
Micah Parsons. Why did you even
Saquon.
say Micah Parsons' name? He's not even playing.
Well, like
MVP.
I said,
Lamar. Listen, I'll give it to
I was saying
Lamar.
there's no defensive guy this year. You know what I mean?
No, Xavier McKinney would have to intercept 27 balls to be the
Right.
MVP of.
So there's no sack master.
No.
Saquon, I think, has a chance if the Eagles get hot. That would be a cute story.
You have to run for Adrian Peterson numbers to be MVP.
All right. Well, last week he ran for 10 yards carry. That's a nice start.
Yeah, but that's
all right. So who catches Lamar? Could it be Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield's done. He doesn't have any receivers anymore. We just talked about that. How about Jordan Love, who throws 3 touchdowns a game?
Packer guy.
Say he doesn't throw 2 interceptions a game for 6 straight games, then it's 18 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Okay. All right. I believe he is underrated on the Vegas list. They don't have him very high, and he's definitely a better choice than.
I seen a list with Patrick Mahomes number 1, and he is the 27th best quarterback in football. His team is 6-0.
I can't even comprehend that. It would have to be like 1924.
It is 1924 when we talk about Patrick Mahomes. We talk about Patrick Mahomes as like Bart Starr or Curly Lambeau or some sort of shit. God. He came around the corner. Nobody's stopping. Number 15 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Froggy, Kermit the Frog, ladies and gentlemen. It's ridiculous.
Hey, he's got
3 interceptions a game, runs for 1 touchdown. They win by 5 points. But he runs
like Jim Brown, baby. Just ask my fucking safety. Just ask Mustafa.
Some say he's the fastest at a 4.6 40. He's the fastest football player. Kermit the Frog. Stupid.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's not very exciting. He did truck that Niner safety into the end zone for a touchdown. No, that was embarrassing for you. Mustafa. Yeah, he got trucked.
Yeah. All the Mustafas around the world feel shame. Anyway.
For some odd reason, that sounded like a song for me. All around the world, Mustafa suffer for me. I was like, what the fuck? I'm singing a song in my head now. What the hell's going on?
Perfect.
Yeah, right.
See, I got the stuff. I just don't have the chops.
Right. Well, that's fine. I mean, just blurt it out more and I'll sing it.
I think I have an AI app that does that. I just like burp a couple times and it makes a song for me. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Stop using the AI shit, man. Just use your own stuff. So listen, Aaron. Listen. I say Jordan Love has every opportunity to win, just as Lamar Jackson did. Now, nice game by Lamar Jackson. Really was. I'm not going to take anything away. I'm sad he didn't throw it to Flowers or Likely more than fucking 3-4 times. But fantasy burn. But good job on the 5 touchdowns, big man. Can't believe he didn't throw 1 to one of my players. I had 2. He threw 5. and he didn't throw one to my guys. It's ridiculous.
Pretty unbelievable.
Pretty
Yeah.
unbelievable.
No, I mean, we're gonna have to see it to believe it before someone stops the Ravens. They played 7 half decent teams. They haven't had a joke game on their schedule yet, aside from the Browns. But like, I'm pretty impressed with what Lamar is doing and the Ravens. I hate
Me
it.
too. Yeah, they do this every year, and then they get to the playoffs since we watch somebody else in the Super Bowls. For
That's
Lamar,
true.
that is. We haven't seen Lamar yet. We've seen Joe Flacco, we've seen Harbaugh, but Lamar plays lights out, wins an MVP, and then playoffs come along and we watch Kermit the
Ooh.
Frog.
Well, yeah. Let's hope both those guys make it, and we could see Henry versus Chris Jones.
I mean, maybe Lamar Jackson is just the Peyton Manning and Tom and Patrick Mahomes is the Tom Brady. And we all sit here and wonder why Peyton Manning hasn't won more Super Bowls, and it's because Tom Brady won them instead.
Asshole.
And just for fun, Jordan Love is the Eli Manning of this whole thing, and he wins too. I told you the only way to defeat Patrick Mahomes is with love.
I heard that on a weird short somewhere.
You did.
Check out FB in the Goob.
Yeah, happy in the Goob, right? So, listen, I'm just saying that. Listen, lot of changes coming this week in quarterbacks. Is Tua coming back?
He's scheduled. He's got projected points on the fantasy website. So yeah.
I heard him say it doesn't matter what happens if he dies on that football field. He did it because he loved the game.
Man, I'd go back to Hawaii.
I would too, and surf.
Do some surfing.
He's got to have some guaranteed money.
Hey, but I mean, all the Waddle and Tyreek Hill owners out there are rejoicing, right?
Sure.
Celebration.
Sure. I mean, if you have Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle and Tua's coming back, A-Chain, Mostert, Gesicki, if you have any of those players, you are happy as hell that Tua's coming back because he's the one making
4 quarters of productive season.
Yes. Hey, listen, the Miami Dolphin fans are happy. But the way that guy's attitude behind living or dying is weird. I don't know what it is. He should definitely wear a Guardian cap.
I watched a cool movie called Monkey Man, and he didn't have a dollar to his name, and his attitude was kind of the same way. But if I had $160 million, I think I wouldn't be Monkey Man anymore. I think I'd be Margarita Man.
He's going to be Jello Man here soon.
Yeah, no bueno. I don't like that.
Well,
good luck to but
did you hear McDaniels on the thing? He said, listen, I know it's my job to make sure that we protect him, but it is also his job to make sure he protects himself and not puts his head down and try to get an extra yard when Dick Butkus has his head down.
And somehow neither of them realize that he doesn't have the mental capacity to make that decision anymore. And that's the problem.
That's the problem. Enough concussions that he doesn't know that he needs to not.
You need that split second.
You do. To slide. To save your ass. To play another game. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay to retreat as long as you get to fucking play the next day. Right? He didn't. He put his head down, and I'm all with him. He's just not Steve Young or Tim Tebow, or you know what I mean? He's not 245. He's not a brute fullback playing quarterback.
Not left-handed. Oh, he is left-handed.
He is left-handed.
He is left-handed.
But he's not.
Good comparison. Nicely done.
Yeah, but he's not those guys. Those guys were fullbacks playing quarterback.
Right. And Steve Young he probably has a shitload of concussions too, if you actually ask him.
I bet you Steve Young is probably in the Favre category or the Joe Montana. They probably have had 25. Yeah, 200. And there was no penalties called when they were playing quarterback. So, but like speaking of like getting to spend your money, Jameson Winston starts this week. I heard that Deshaun
Free lobsters in Cleveland.
I believe Winston should start. That other kid, Winston started the last part of it, and I think that's because the other kid just wasn't that good. Demarius
Right.
Thomas Robinson. Whatever.
Dorian Thompson
Dorian.
Robinson.
Yeah,
Robinson
Dorian. Yeah, I
Thompson.
don't think he was that good.
He threw 2 picks. They brought in Jameis. Jameis, yeah, did all right.
Better than that kid, right? He's got many more starts under the belt. So
Njoku fans should be happy.
nice. There you go. If you're an Njoku fan, be happy.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson, he's guaranteed 72.6 the next 2 years in a row, no matter
Wow.
what Deshaun does.
And the only thing that's the matter is his foot hurts. That's genius.
Yeah, he should just. I would take the next 2 years off and make my $150 million and then decide if I wanted to play the third year.
Learn how to speak language. Like I don't know. Have sex with
Philippines
Italian
or something fun. So so we had Winston taking over, Tua coming back. Who else is being replaced? Is there any other quarterbacks? Purdy's losing his job this week. Who's your backup?
That's right. My man. His name is Hunter No Stuff. Nah, forget his name.
So he'll replace Purdy this week. I mean,
Next year we're gonna pay Purdy the cheap amount. He's better than anyone we got. I mean, he might be a good running back. We might switch him to running back.
well,
Maybe Juszczyk will be the quarterback.
you're gonna have to pay Purdy. Dak Prescott's terrible, and he's making how much?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a huge mistake.
Right? I mean, Dak Prescott is horrible. He's guaranteed like 200 and what billion dollars, and
I say we bring Trey Lance back, baby.
bring back anybody. Do anything. You know what? Just cut Purdy at the end of the year. Because there's
Right.
no way that you guys are going to give Purdy $50 million a year. Like Jordan Love is the Packers quarterback for the next 15 years. I'm fine with that. Brock Purdy is not the Niners quarterback for the next 15 years, right?
No.
No. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Listen, I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited to play Jacksonville. You excited to play the Cowboys?
Oh man, I wake up every morning hoping I get to play the Cowboys.
That's insane. You guys suck right now.
Doesn't matter. So do the Cowboys.
That's true. That's the battle of two teams not going to the playoffs. That's all I know.
It's kind of like a delicious dessert for most of the NFL because they get to see two of the better teams just like suck it up and one of them has to win, but
right.
Everyone's excited when Packers, Cowboys, Niners lose.
They are. They're
Yeah.
also excited when they play each other too. Everybody seems to be excited about that.
Yeah, this is a big week for me and Dean. Me and my grill making homie, we got a couple of $100 on the line. It's a big game.
Big game.
Yeah.
It's not a big game for me, you guys. I mean, even if one of you two were to win your division, you would be the low end division winner, and you'd probably just lose in the first round of the playoffs. That's what I see right now.
You don't want to play us because you can't beat us.
No, that was Aaron Rodgers that can't beat you. Do you see that guy? He sucks.
I beat Jordan Love already. Remember last year?
Yeah, you barely beat Jordan Love. That was just the beginning of that. That was just a taste of what's to come. What's to come, which is you losing for the next 15 years to Jordan Love.
Ah, lovely. All right.
All right. Well, I'm just saying. Just saying. You'll know.
Hey,
I told you it feels like Favre again. You remember what happened with Favre and you. It was bad.
Oh, no.
20-2.
Listen, until it starts to happen, beat us in the playoffs. And I'll just keep smiling, all right?
This year.
We might not make it. Fuck you. We're just not going to make it. You can't beat us in the playoffs.
Because you won't be there. Makes sense. Asshole. I'm FB.
I'm an Inigo Montoya.
You are Inigo Montoya. and your father was killed by me.
Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.